Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
GM tells, we're going to go around the horn here a little bit just to make sure that you know what's going on in the entire car world a little bit first. Then we got to get into some other things. Like flying cars. Are you ready for that? Oh, I can't wait to tell you about that. General Motors urged some owners of Chevy Bolt electric cars to park and store the vehicles at least 50 feet away from other cars to reduce the risk that a spontaneous fire could spread. The Detroit automaker has recalled all of the roughly 142,000 Bolts sold since 2016 because the battery can catch on fire. Oh, yeah. GM has taken a $1.8 billion charge so far for the cost of the recall and has been buying cars back from some disgruntled owners. The company expects to recoup much of the cost from battery supplier LG Corp. Good luck. Good luck. GM has confirmed 10 fires. In closing today, we're going to tell you all about the GM Bolt. GM has said the fires are a rare event. That's why they're recalling all of them, and are a result of two uncommon defects that stem from a manufacturing problem in LG's plants in Michigan and South Korea. Well, LG is suspect at best in a few things right now, so we'll keep an eye on those people. Just see what happens. The NHTSA, U.S. auto safety regulators, are requesting substantial amounts of data on advanced driver assistance systems from major automakers to aid their investigation into 12 Tesla crashes involving autopilot and first responder scenes. Yeah, this is kind of odd that out of these 12 accidents, a whole bunch of them are in the back end of a fire truck. NHTSA's Office of Defects Investigation sent letters to 12 automakers, including Ford, GM, Toyota, Volkswagen, to gather information from comparing vehicles equipped with Level 2 driver assist systems. They're calling it Level 2 driver assist systems, where the vehicle has the ability to control steering and braking, accelerating simultaneously under certain conditions. For each automaker, the agency is seeking the number of vehicles equipped with Level 2 systems to have been manufactured for sale, lease, or operation in the U.S., as well as the cumulative mileage covered with the systems engaged and a log of the most recent updates of the systems. So they don't care about crashes in other countries, in other words. The agency also is requesting all consumer complaints, field reports, crash reports, and lawsuits that may relate to the driver assist systems. I'm here to tell you, for them to say that they want to know they want to know the data of Level 2 when Tesla's actually claiming like Level 4. I mean, they call it autopilot. That's a lot more than Level 2. All right, now that's an argument for another day. China steps up and fines auto chip sales company for pushing up prices. Oh, you knew this was coming, Eric. You knew this had to come. China's market regulator said on Friday that it fined 3 auto chip sales companies for driving up prices in a move to help auto production in the world's biggest vehicle market. And they're talking sales in China. They don't want to sell them to us. Well, they do. The State Administration for Market Regulations said on the website that it fined 3 local companies of a total of 2.5 million yuan. How much is that in dollars, Eric? Get the math, get the book out. Oh, it's 388,000, roughly, dollars. The companies are Shanghai Chengsheng Industrial Company, Shanghai Cheater, and Shenzhen Yuchang Technologies. How am I doing with those names, Eric? I'm telling you, I got this down pat. In other words, they're gouging for chips in China now that they can. And they can. And we have nothing to say about that because that's the Chinese. That all those companies are strictly run by the government, Communist Chinese Party. They are owned by the government, more or less. The House Ways and Means Committee on Friday released its proposal to consumer tax credits in the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill that would support affordable electric vehicles, domestic battery production, and union jobs. Not a bad move on my part. I think this is good. The committee's legislative proposal, led by U.S. Rep. Dan Kildee, Democrat, Michigan, would boost EV tax credits for consumers as much as $12,500 for electric vehicles assembled by union workers with domestically manufactured batteries. In other words, it's like saying the car is going to be made here. All of it. The fully refundable credit would be transferable at the point of sale and would phase out over 10 years. In the first 5 years, the base credit would be $7,500. The maximum tax credit currently available, that's what they're at now, $7,500, with an additional bonus credit of $4,500 for vehicles made within factory represented by union labor, and another $500 bonus if the automaker has a domestic supply for batteries. In the second 5-year period, only electric vehicles assembled in the U.S. are eligible for the $7,500 base credit. This gets touchy now. This gets real touchy. Also, the proposal, which goes through the committee markup next week, before being considered by the full House, also would set a cap on the manufacturer's suggested retail price of the electric vehicles that qualify for this credit. So now they're not only trying to regulate the building of the car, they're trying to regulate the sales of the car. Electric sedans must have a retail price at or below $55,000. For vans, the limit is $64,000, SUVs $69,000, and pickup trucks $74,000. So in other words, the government is looking to regulate everything. And there's a name for that. Anyway, I'm going to tell you the reverse side of this story right here. Toyota Motor Company and Honda Motor Company on Saturday sharply criticized a proposal by the Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives to give union-made electric vehicles in the United States an extra $4,500 tax incentive. Toyota said in a statement that the plan unveiled late Friday discriminates against American workers based on their choice not to unionize. Oh, the fight starts. The bill, set to be voted on Tuesday by the Democrat-led House Ways and Means Committee, would benefit Detroit's 3 automakers which have union-represented auto part plants. I've told you this before. Everything made by the big 3 is unionized. Everything made here, even if it's made here, is non-union for the Hondas, Toyotas, or whatever. In a statement, Honda called the bill unfair, said it discriminates against EVs made by hard-working American auto workers based simply on whether they belong to a union. Okay, what do you suppose the deal is here, Eric? What do you think we're dealing with here? Let's kind of check this out real quick. Eric, you're not a union car builder, but now because you work for Toyota, your cars aren't going to sell as well as Ford, Chevy, or Chrysler because they are union. What does that say to you? Are you offended by that? I mean, think about this. I'm not against unions, and I'm not a big union supporter, but I believe they make a better car. But we have had no problems with the Toyotas and the Hondas and the BMWs. All the rest of them made here. The Volkswagens outside of, we had more trouble with the Chevy Bolt and the Tesla.
Right.
And the Tesla is non-union, and the Chevy Bolt is union. So you tell me. I like the deal if it's a union made. I like the fact that they're made here. The parts are made here. It's our economy that benefits from it because it's our economy. And if you want to bring cars over here, if you want to build them here, you should conform to our economy. For a long time, if they were paying less wages than union or less benefits, if it was cheaper for Toyota, Honda, whoever, Nissan, whoever, to build a car rather than Ford, Chevy, and Chrysler, if it was cheaper for them to build, well, then they had the advantage. And they were discriminating against unionized workers.
Right.
So now the worm is turned. This whole thing is turned around on them, and now it's cheaper to buy an electric vehicle made by union workers, according to your government. The only problem I have with any of this so far, like I say, I won't argue pro or con union. I have some good things for the union, and I have some other things for the union. I will not argue pro or con. But I will tell you the simple fact that they want to have the bill will set to be voted on Tuesday. Ways and Means Committee would benefit Detroit's 3 automakers, which have the union authorized or union represented auto plants. In other words, if it's not a union plant, it's $4,500 less credit you can get. But if it is a union plant, you get $12,500. I don't think the government should be touching any of this. The government should leave it be. Free enterprise and the capitalism and the American way was built on who builds the cars and sells them at the right price. The government should not regulate who is going to build these cars. People, men and women that work in the plants should want to be part of the union. They should vote for it and become part of the union. If they don't want, they should not vote for it. But that to penalize either one, union or non-union, is absolutely wrong, and to legislate it is unconstitutional in my view. While I'm not a constitutional scholar, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not even an egghead, but I'm going to tell you like it is. It sounds unconstitutional to me that the government can tell us where our cars can be built and how much they can cost. I think that's wrong. I think that's absolutely dead wrong. If you want to buy a union-made car, go buy a union-made car. You want to buy a non-union-made car, go buy a non-union-made car. I don't care. But don't let Big Brother tell me what I have to buy and what I don't. I don't know if I'm saying this word right. It's Chinese, and it's spelled Xpeng. Is that Xpeng?
I think, yeah, Xpeng.
Xpeng is a company. Xpeng High Tech, which is HEITECH, that's the model. The Xpeng High Tech, a flying car startup backed by electric vehicle maker Xpeng Incorporated, said on Wednesday that it would deliver electric flying cars to consumers. Are you ready for this? 2024. 2 years away until George Jetson comes. George Jetson's coming to your house. Yee! Oh my God. The startup, founded in 2013 and funded by Xpeng and Xpeng CEO, Xiaopeng, now employs 400 people and will expand its workforce to 700 by the end of the year, company founder Zhao Deli told the World New Energy Vehicle Congress. Are you ready to go flying? Huh? Xpeng High-Tech's model will be able to drive on roads, Zhao said. Oh, so you said drive and fly. You decide you don't like the traffic? Let the guy in front of you keep going until you got enough room to take off and get out of there. I'm kind of liking that. The electric flying car will be able to travel over 600 kilometers, that's 670 miles on the ground, on a single charge. But Zhao did not say how far it can fly on one charge. If it's only a couple blocks, it's really not worth having.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you got to lift a bunch of weight up into the air, it takes some power. Other automakers that are developing flying cars in China include Geely's. I told you about Geely's Terrafugia, which is building a factory in the central city of Wuhan, home of the virus. Volkswagen AG is also supplying the industry in China. But regulators in China, however, have yet to roll out detailed rules on flying vehicles. See, in China they can do that. They can tell them what to price them at. They can tell them that you have to buy cars made in China to live there. They can tell them they can do anything they want in China because they're communists. They do what they want. The people that run the show there are the government, and they just tell you what to do, and that's the way it should be. Now, I have one problem with this whole flying thing, Eric, and you got to help me with this. I know I have friends and that are like this, and I have seen other people that I don't know, but they drive like idiots. They drive like maniacs. They are the ones that you're going down the highway at 75 mile an hour, 5 miles over the limit in a 70 mile an hour rural district, and here comes somebody in a little bitty Dodge Neon flying by you at 95. You got to have the pedal through the floor. It's got the rubber band wound as tight as it can go. It can't go any higher. Okay? And he's flying down the highway past you. You want to put that guy in an airplane? Should we let that guy fly a car?
No, of course not.
I mean, come on. I would think your first responders should be the guys that have the flying vehicles.
At least to start off, yes.
To get where they're going.
Yeah.
And get there first and fastest and not worry about the backup from the car wreck. Let's get that helicopter, that little bitty one-seater or two-seater helicopter in there. Set it down, put the patient on there and fly him to the hospital. Let's do that kind of stuff. If you're a squad car and all of a sudden you got to hit a button and turn it into a helicopter or a plane, I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but I don't understand. What I don't understand is the makers of these cars, they don't leave any room for error. And in driving, how much room is there for error, Eric? I mean, you drive the Dan Ryan all the time.
Very little, yeah.
Oh no, don't you go up to the school?
All day, every day.
Okay.
5 days out of the week.
And there's no leeway.
There isn't.
You either get on there and do 1,000 miles an hour and weave in and out of traffic, or you're going to get hit. You're going to get run over.
Pretty much.
Now you're going to give all those people cars, flying cars?
No.
I did this to Rick one day. I told him on 94. He's always complaining about 94 is backed up. Middle of the night when Rick goes to work. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning when he's on his way to the studio in Michigan City, there's a backup. There's always a backup. I said, you're going to give, and these people are honking and losing their tempers. And Rick said, I said, you want to give those people a flying car? Please, give me a break. So I don't think we're going to do this flying car thing. I don't think it's going to work. Not right now.
I was going to say not right now, but at least in a couple years down the line, like
we're still
10,
trying
20
to get
years.
the self-driving thing
Exactly.
worked out.
One thing at a time.
Heck, actually, we're still trying to get the electric thing worked out.
Heck, we're trying to get our cars that we've been driving for years right.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know. It's